In elementary school, there was a pencil machine in the front lobby where you could get pencils for 25 cents. There were also special pencils that had stars on them. If you got one of these special pencils, you could take it into the office and get a prize. One day, I decided to get a pencil. I put in my quarter and out popped TWO pencils. And one of them was a special pencil. I went into the office and told the lady at the desk that the machine gave me 2 pencils, and one of them was special. She proceeded to say that the machine shouldn't do that, took the special pencil, and didn't give me a prize. That was 19 years ago, and I'm still pissed. My mom decided that she didn't want Christmas presents one year, and made sure to tell us, me and my 2 brothers. I suggested to her instead that we donate what we would have spent to charity in her name. She said she was fine with that if that's what we wanted to do. So that's what I did. I sent her a nice little card and the info for the charities I donated to, so she could see that her decision helped some good organizations out. Mom was pissed. Why didn't you just send me a gift card if you weren't gonna buy me anything? You ruined Christmas. Now I love my mom. By that point we had a total of 1 really nasty fight, and that was several years before. She was fine growing up. She was fine most of my adulthood except for a suicide attempt that I got to call the ambulance for from the other side of the country. Long story. I'm accustomed to buying my mom decent, thoughtful presents. So when she accused me of ruining Christmas for her, I was distraught. I sent her a screen cap of the conversation we had encircled where she said she'd be fine with my decision to donate in her name. Her response? I don't remember that. I deleted those texts. I lost my shit, told her it's her own fault for raising me to do as I'm told, and next time just don't say shit if she's gonna change her mind and not tell us. And then we didn't speak for 3 months. This was 2.5 years ago, and I have not gotten over it. I'm 35 now. When I was 14 or 15, my mom stormed into my room one evening and accused me of smashing a glass and getting rid of the evidence. It was one of these retro Coke glasses. I swore I didn't break any glass, and if I did, why would I hide such a small accident? But my mom didn't believe me. She was so mad and accused me of lying. She wouldn't even say why I was her prime suspect. Somehow it just had to be me. Anyway, I got into trouble for it even without any evidence. Sometime later it turned out no glass was actually smashed. My mom thought the glasses she bought came in 4s. But our neighbor bought the same set, and there were actually 3 glasses in it. My mom acknowledged the fact, but never apologized to me for how she screamed at me, or how she accused me out of the blue. She just never mentioned it again. I'm still mad about it. A child in my child's class at school told their teacher that their mom was taking them out of school for the day of their birthday, and so they would be absent on that day. The teacher admonished the child and told them that if they weren't present the following day, that there would be hell to pay. The child was rightly upset and decided to go into school. They hadn't taken down their homework properly, and so did 3 different pages of work. It was the wrong work. The teacher locked the child in the classroom over lunch on their birthday. That my 6th grade teacher refused to believe I had no idea the dude sitting behind me was copying my answers on the test. Coming second in a school trivia competition 21 years ago. I had the correct answers on 2 questions that would have sent us to the national champs, and was vetoed by the other 3 shitheads on my team. When I had to get photos printed for a university project, so I went to a printer shop, and they charged me £2 extra for a DVD with my photos on, even though I told them I didn't want the DVD, so I didn't get it, but they still charged me anyways and threw away my receipt before I could look at it. So with my new photos I went to hand in my project, only to be told that we were doing a peer review of them. No one in my group did the project and couldn't care less about it. So I wasted all that time and effort. Still so salty. The fact that I spelled mayonnaise correctly in my 4th grade class spelling bee, but the teacher claimed I didn't and dismissed me. I had 1 in the 3rd grade, and proceeded to win in the 5th and 6th grades as well. The unfair disqualification in 4th grade ruined what would have been a 4-year streak. When I was 10, I, the goody two-shoes nerd, was sat in the back of the bus, next to the class troublemaker, because we had assigned seats, thanks to him. He took apart someone's science fair project that was being kept back there, and threw a piece out the window. When someone tattled on him, he blamed it on me, and since the teacher couldn't prove one way or another, they just punished both of us, despite 15 kids coming to my defense. Fuck schools and their fairness in discipline. All I got was 1 study hall. Kids today are getting bullied relentlessly because they know that standing up for themselves means getting suspended. My brother eating the remainder of my birthday cake behind my back a couple of years ago. After the celebrations I put what was left in the freezer to have some other time as a nice treat, birthday cake being a novelty. The fucker demolished every last bit of it. This wasn't just a little slice of cake left over, at least half of the cake remained until he got his mitts on it. Was absolutely fuming. My mom ate a candy I saved for after school. It happened 20 years ago. Years ago a guy I worked with said he could guess the age of any girl in line. I pointed out the girl closest to us who was a tween and asked what's her age. He then called me a pedo for asking him to guess the age of a girl. I once returned a wallet to a police station like 15 years ago. They laughed cause there was money in it still. They then asked for my address so they could mail me a little something to commemorate the good deed. Never got anything. Sad face. I just wanted to hang it on my fridge. Edit. This was in some random town a few friends and I were passing through in the Midwest. I didn't expect anything in return, just wanted it. Double edit. Guys, why would you mark me with faith in humanity restored? I made a post about how I was upset my good deed didn't produce results for me. That's not behavior worth rewarding, LOL. A friend told me that they only hang out with me when all of their other options run dry. That my managers wouldn't let me have a weekend off for what would have essentially been my honeymoon, because it's Small Business Saturday, and you need to be here. I gave them over a month's notice, and Small Business Saturday lasted all of an hour. Thank God, I don't work there anymore. When I was 21, I was deeply self-conscious about my baldness, and I wore a hat everywhere. A friend of mine thought I was worried over nothing, so he set me up on a date with a wonderful woman. Everything went well at first, but when the hat came off, she shrieked and sprinted to the bathroom. And that was that. My family had a PS1 when I was little, and we had quite some games. Some of them are pretty expensive nowadays. Well, at some point the PS1 broke, and my mom gave away all games. There is no point in keeping the games if you can't play them. Joke's on her, I bought a used PS1 about 2 years ago. Now I have to rebuy all games we had. They cancelled My Name is Earl after telling the writers that it was definitely safe to end season 4 on a cliffhanger, as they were going to make several more. Also still super salty over Flash Forward/Utopia getting cancelled. Seems like half of the shows I get invested in are killed halfway through. My parents objected to my sister marrying the guy who is now her husband. They treated her badly, and showed up in a sour mood to her wedding. They never apologized for their bad behavior. My sister and her husband have been married for 8 years. Parents, if your adult daughter wants to do something you disagree with, then let her know you think it's a mistake, but when she makes a decision, your job is to support her in that decision, not to repeatedly harp on her about it, and make her hate you. In middle school, I had a test with some true/false questions. One said something about the Atlantic Ocean and the West Coast. I am in the US. There was some other stuff as well that was true about the Atlantic, but since the Atlantic is the East Coast, I marked it false. It was counted wrong, and when I protested, the teacher said something along the lines of, obviously I meant East Coast. It was only 1 point, and made no difference to my grade in the end, but my 13-year-old usually quiet teacher's pet self was ready to fucking riot. I honestly wish she had. Edit. I think this is now my most upvoted Reddit comment. 13-year-old me finally feels a little repaid for the injustice. Thank you all for commiserating with me.